Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Charlie Bengel Jr., CEO of Remax Allegiance, and welcome to the daily dose of the Remax Allegiance Way show. My special guest this afternoon, again, is Chris Krauss. Chris Krauss is the Director of Marketing at Remax Allegiance. He's been with Remax for the last 2 years and in marketing for the last 3. So welcome back to the show, Chris.
Hi, I feel honored to be the one of the few that gets to come on more than once.
Yes, yes, you should. Yes, you should. Talk to me about what's new in the last couple of weeks since we chatted.
So yeah, last time we spoke, we talked a lot about reaching out to your sphere of influence and everything. And so we've actually started creating, I've been working diligently on newsletters for our Remax agents so that they'll be able to sign up and send that out bi-weekly so we can make sure we're keeping those points of contact with everyone. And then just trying to stay sane during quarantine. So
good. So electronic newsletters coming soon. When do you think that's going to be offered?
Hopefully we're trying to get it up, by Wednesday.
Awesome. Good. So just in a couple days. Talk to me about content. So when we last left off, we were talking content. Let's just kind of go back through what we went over and through what we didn't quite get to, if you want to share your screen.
Yeah, so we spoke last time and we managed to get through about halfway, but we'll start back over for anybody who hasn't had the chance to watch the last show or didn't make it. Basically, everything breaks down into our content stack. These are just different categories for what you're able to post on your social media and ways to interact with your clients. Starting off with Real Me. That is essentially just posting the real life of you. You're not being fake. You're not just posting things about houses. You're posting things about your real life. Especially right now, people want to see, what are you really up to? What is the day in the life, look like for someone in your position? So just making sure you're making that kind of human connection with people. And then after that, we'll go down on the left side, agent behind the scenes. This works a lot like the Real Me, except for this is talking about you in your agent sense. What does it look like behind the scenes as an agent? What does going out and doing virtual home tours look like? Right now, you can show people kind of the behind the scenes, kind of like a featurette on a movie. On what's that look like right now. And I think that's a really interesting, because a lot of people don't know how real estate works. That's why they're coming to all the realtors that we have. And then moving down, a knowledge broker. This one is providing information on the market, providing information on things going on with the real estate world. You are the best source of that information right now. What's going on inside of this with everything going on, especially right now, but even in the normal sense, like, you are the best source of information for these people, because a lot of people don't even know where to start looking for it.
So there's some people that think that real estate has stopped, right? And stats that we've been putting out a couple times a week that shows that hundreds or thousands of properties are still coming on the market, still going under contract every week, right? And still we have closings every week. So I think for those people, like we've been saying, those people who are comfortable, right? Comfortable financially, comfortable looking at homes right now, there's huge opportunities for them every week or every other day almost. I hear about opportunities for people. We heard from Steve Flasterer, who's a great agent out of the Georgetown office earlier this morning. And he said, that he got a contract ratified in Petworth and was able to negotiate the price. This is something that would not have happened a couple months ago, right? It just would not have happened. So I think that there are opportunities for our buyers and sellers out there, and it's our job to make them, or to help them understand that A, the real estate market is still moving, B, we're still in business, and C, what we've done to pivot our business. You mentioned virtual tours, things like that. If they're not comfortable going out and looking at a bunch of homes, then most homes have virtual tours. And if not, we have agents that are willing to go out and preview, or sellers that'll even get on Zoom, right, and do a live virtual tour with the agents and clients. So I think that there's all sorts of good opportunities for people in this market. And when I hear, especially buyers, say that they want to pause, it makes me cringe, because we know that, we know that other buyers are going to come back to the market in a couple months, right? And we don't know what mortgage rates are going to be doing. We don't know what the mortgage programs are going to be doing. So I think as agents, we need to be focused on what we do know and make sure that our clients understand, what the market is. And as you've mentioned here, Knowledge Broker is one of the 6 ways to do that. So what you got for social proof?
So social proof right now is being a little bit careful about what you're posting in terms of how many houses you've sold in the vicinity. Basically, you're kind of stroking your own ego here. You're saying, hey, like, look at what I have to offer. I have sold this many in the Georgetown area, this many in the DC area. But the way to pivot it towards now is to show that houses are still selling in this area. Like, look how many houses have sold in this area right now. It's basically socially proving yourself to everybody, showing that like that houses are selling, that the market is still alive. It kind of goes hand in hand with Knowledge Broker, but it is more based around you as a person versus the general real estate market. But in a normal one, you could post, again, however many houses that you've sold in the past year, and just or you've helped or had any kind of transaction with. It's a great way to show people that what you're doing, that people are coming to you, that you're a very knowledgeable person, in the real estate world.
Yeah. So a map of sales, right? It could be 2019. It could be career sales. If you're not somebody that, that sells 25 or 50 houses a year, maybe you want to put in 3 or 4 years worth. So I think now is a great time to be working on this stuff. And then when things normalize a bit, putting that out there, I think is super important. The social proof piece, I think, is super important for your listing and buyer presentations. So, that should be a page in there. And if you all need help coming up with these maps, that's something that Chris is able to help you with. So while it may not make sense to do a separate post with a map of, hey, look at me, I sold 50 houses last year, right? To at least have the map at the ready for when you need it, is important. And now's the time to be working on all this stuff, right? If things are a little bit slow on the sales side, and let's work on the business and get our marketing lined up to where we want it and how we want it to be. Yes,
and it's actually funny. I was reading a Riz Media article this morning that Melissa tossed my way, and it actually said that now, and I hadn't thought about it like this, but it's the time to build your pipeline, to really build up for afterwards. Because even if you're not doing it right now, that doesn't mean that you can't brand yourself. I know we talked about branding a little bit, but here Social Proof just brands it, showing exactly what you're capable of, so that when all this is over, you're the person that was in front of them this entire time. They're going to turn to you.
Yeah, load the cannon for when things normalize, whatever normal looks like, right? That's the third thing that agents should be thinking of, right? So the first one is safety for ourselves, for our families, for our clients, for our friends. Safety is number 1. Number 2 is working on our current deals. And number 3, like Chris mentioned a minute ago, is loading that cannon for if you do have people that are on hold, as soon as things get a little bit back to normal, we continue with the great year that 2020 was looking to be, right? Until this epidemic hit. I think most people were expecting a really good year in real estate. So load the cannon for when things get, quote unquote, back to normal. What's next?
Okay, so next is going to be hyper local. This is basically knowing your area, knowing what is going on inside of the neighborhoods that you are selling your houses in, you're listing your houses in. You want people to know that you know everything about the area. You know what's going on event wise. The places to go eat, the places to go shop, the place to do. You are basically the person that I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase that. You basically know everything about the area.
So knowledge of the area, right? And then we talk a lot about becoming the digital mayor of your area, of your town, right? So it's not just knowing the market and knowing that house, behind you sold for $450 in 2 days, right? With multiple offers, but what are the new restaurants? What are the schools like? And that's where video, I think, is just so important. I know we're going to talk more about video in the future, or here in another minute, I should say.
Yep, and I see here that it looks like someone commented that you are the go-to realtor. that you are the person who's like, I know, you want to know where to go to for, X, Y, and Z kind of food. I know it. I've been there, ate there. I can recommend a dish there.
Right. Not only the go-to realtor, but preeminence, right? So let's talk about preeminence just for a minute. You are preeminent. You're on the consideration scale, right? So this is something that we talked about with our agents before the pandemic hit, right? We had this questionnaire. Everybody had to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, not using the number 7, right? And we were going to review the results with our agents. Well, then COVID comes along and we all had to pivot, of course. But being on the consideration scale, being so well known, both with as a knowledge broker, hyper local, social proof, right? All of this speaks to preeminence and speaks to being on the consideration scale. And what I mean by that is, let's say there's somebody in the neighborhood who wants to sell their house and their sister's a realtor, right? They still contact you because they know they at least have to have the conversation with you. They owe it to themselves and their family to have the conversation with you, even if you don't get the listing, even if the listing ends up going with the sister, right? You're still so preeminent and you're seen as the expert. They're still going to call you, right? And that, right, being on the consideration scale is when you've reached preeminence, right? When you're so results driven that people feel like they have to call you no matter what, right? There's never another listing in the neighborhood where you're like, boy, they didn't even call me, right? That's frustrating. Not to say that you're going to get every one, right? But to at least have the at-bats with everyone. And really what you're talking about here, the entire content stack speaks to that, right?
I think everything, kind of builds towards that. By doing this, you are building that preeminence.
Right. I like it. Good.
And then last but not least is just Buzzworthy. This one kind of strays away from you as an agent and posting things that are popular content. This can be ranged from, this just goes back to forever ago. I remember the ice water challenge, and it was donating. You donated like $15, $20. I forgot what I think it was Alzheimer's, I think.
ALS.
ALS, that's what it was. And I remember doing it, and we had all these people doing it, and they would say, all right, I'm donating, and then I challenged these people, and it was Buzzworthy. It was interacting with these things that were popular and also providing to a good cause. And it goes towards anything that goes on, especially right now. I know there are a bunch of like challenges at home to do, or like I had people like cook your best cake. I saw the other day, and I had all these people, all my friends had cooked cakes, and some of them were horrible, but it was Buzzworthy and people wanted to click on it. So that's what Buzzworthy is, essentially just posting popular content that still is showing your face. It's that video content. It's showing you as a person. It ties back into the real me. You can also post articles and other things that your readers might actually want to look at. But just looking at popular content and making sure that you are also producing those kind of things that are going to get the clicks and brand yourself the best way possible.
I like it. Good. Talk to me about video.
All right. So video is of utmost importance, especially right now. What video is going to allow you to do is it humanizes you. A photo is nice and it's great, but you can't really tell anything from a photo except for that it could potentially, it's a one-shot deal. You don't know anything else going around that photo. You don't know if it was staged. Versus a video, it's very nice because you can talk, you can interact, and especially live video. Live video has really picked up, especially Facebook Live. You can interact with all of your clients from home, like that. It's keeping that social distance, but you're able to do these same things, but over the internet with just about anybody. So you should be doing live video at least once or twice a week, but video should be at least, I would say, 50% of your content.
Yeah, and especially with Facebook, it's free, right? So I'm new to video. I'm terrified of video. Where do I start?
I think the best way to start is if you are scared, I would stick away. Don't do live first. Go ahead and try to do some pre-recorded stuff. And it doesn't have to be perfect. People aren't looking for perfect content. People are looking for content. So just do your best. Sit in front of it. You don't have to have a fancy camera. I'm using my MacBook camera right now in there. I've used my iPhone to do videos. My sister was using her iPhone the other day to do TikTok videos. Like, it does not matter. You can do whatever you want with what you have. And it's still going to get watched if you're providing good content inside of the video.
I like it. We are starting something for RE/MAX Allegiance agents where they are able to appear on the Allegiance Way show. I will interview them, right? We just came up with this idea, I think, on Thursday or Friday. If those of you out there are scared of video, an interview is really a simple way to go, right? You don't have to go live by yourself. If I am interviewing you, I'm not going to let you fall on your face, right? You're going to know the questions in advance. But I will say the caveat is, if I'm spending my time helping you with your video, and I'm talking to the agents out there, we will be live, right? I don't want to record a video and then assume that you do something with it and then you don't. So my time, we're going to be live. The difference is we're going to be live on your Facebook page, right? We're going to be live on your YouTube page. So it's going to look like the Allegiance Way show with the logos, and it looks kind of professional, as you can see here. But the difference is you're not actually going to be on the Allegiance Way show broadcasting to other agents. You're going to be broadcasting to your clients. And it's going to be a conversation around your experience, what's happening with the market right now, how have you pivoted your business, what advice do you have for buyers and sellers. It's probably not even going to take 30 minutes. So if you all are interested in that, you need to email me, because I only have the bandwidth for maybe 10 of these videos a week, because it's time consuming to get it all set up and and to do the video. So if you're interested, Charles Bengel at remax.net, send me an email sooner rather than later, because I've already got some on my calendar. So that is my, as you know, Chris, I've been trying to push the agents to do video. And I think a good way to do it is by an interview, right? It's just easier than talking into the camera by yourself. So, and you'll have the questions in advance, so you'll be prepared. So talk to me about, let's pivot a little bit and talk to me about keeping in touch with the sphere. We talked about the electronic newsletter, which has been a challenge for a lot of people, right? Just getting it set up, right? So dive into a little bit more detail about, or in reference to the newsletter that you're going to be doing, and maybe the options that associates will have.
Okay, so we are in that process of creating that newsletter, and essentially the importance of that newsletter is that you're keeping that constant contact. You're never letting them forget. It all goes back to that brand, that brand, and making sure that you're in front of them, they're seeing you, and you're providing them with good content. So some of that content that's going to be in there is going to be weekly stats. We're going to have new market update news. We're going to have just things to do at home, such as museum tours and other things that are a little more fun, so that if you are stuck at home, you can read this. You'll get these every other week, and you'll see, okay, like, I've always wanted to go see this museum in France, and I can actually go do it now from the comfort of my home. And everything's free. That's the whole point of it, is to really drive that, there's still things to do while at home. We're also going to have featured listings on it. We're going to have a buyer needs section. So let's say you as an agent, you have a single townhome in Rose Hill that needs sold. You can reach out, you can push that out to your clients, and maybe they know someone who is actually looking to sell their single home, in Rose Hill, or looking to buy there. And so we're going to have a couple different options. We're going to have a free template option, which essentially we are just going to be giving out this template that we've created over the last week, 2 weeks. And then we'll have a base version and a pro version. The base version is going to be a non-customizable option. It'll still go out from your MailChimp. It'll still come from you every other week, and it'll still be updated. But you won't be getting any of the customization options. You won't have that buyer needs section. And the featured listing won't be your featured listing. But the pro version is a customizable option, and that one's going to allow you to go in there, and you are going to have those buyer needs. You are going to be able to put your listing at the bottom, so that you can guarantee that you're getting the exact content you want out, and then we'll send it out for you. And so it's a really good deal. It's amazing what you're getting with this.
So both paid versions, and one is going to be what, 25, and one's going to be 49 a month?
Yes, 25. Right? And, for the base version, pro version will be 49.
So for 2 newsletters a month, and I think we want to emphasize this, we are sending it for you. I mean, it really is turnkey. And frankly, if you don't get back to Chris with the customization piece, then he's just gonna do it for you, right? And it's just gonna go out. So it's what, the first and third Wednesdays or something. I don't remember the schedule, but
second and fourth Wednesday.
Second and fourth Wednesday. kind of set it and forget it, right? And you'll even help them set up their MailChimp accounts. So this is a no-brainer. I've been coaching agents for long enough and been recommending these e-newsletters long enough to know that people hate setting them up, right? People hate having to get the content, right? So we've solved all of that for what will be a very, very, very inexpensive price. So love that. What are some other ways to keep in touch with the Sphere? So we've talked about video. We've talked about an electronic newsletter. What else are you seeing?
So I've seen a lot of postcards recently. Postcards are huge right now. Again, with the social distancing, sending out a postcard, every other week, sending one out once a month, and then, changing out that third week with something else. But a postcard is definitely a good way. You can reach out, and it's basically just saying, hey, we're still here. You can do the same thing, offering up different ways for people to fill their time. I've seen a couple agents who are posting about, local walking groups that are doing social distance, like walks together. I've seen people who are posting about certain kind of trails around. So I definitely think postcards have really picked up. And then I know we talked last time about the bingo card idea.
Yeah.
Great idea still. It's basically just a restaurant bingo card. And those have been super popular. I've actually now seen not just restaurant ones, I've seen different other like local shops that are like offering curbside pickups. I saw one the other day, and it was like local shops that were like, oh, we can't stay open for people to come in, but if you know exactly what you want, we can bring it out. So that was pretty interesting to see some of these different, bingo ideas. But those have been the biggest ones, I feel like. And, obviously, social media is still going to be there. Asking questions on social media. You can say, hey, what is your favorite dish to make at home while you're stuck at home? And that's a good way to interact with these clients and still have that point of contact. And then just liking their comments, responding to them. But I really honestly think the easiest one is going to be a newsletter, because it's going to get read. Emails have a great open rate, especially right now. You wouldn't think so. You think email had died, but it actually has a better open rate than most of like Facebook messages and social media posts in general. So.
Yep. And I'd like your point on social media, asking questions to get people engaged, right? So you can go back and forth with them. And then it's not really marketing, but we have to mention, if we're talking about keeping in touch with past clients in Sphere, pick up the phone, right? The phone. People are sitting at home. They are bored. They want to hear from you. They're ripping their hair out, trying to homeschool their kids, right? They need a break. So you can be that break by giving them a call, and they will answer the phone and they will chat with you. And invariably, they will ask how the market is. Right. So, hey, how are you doing? Because there's some people that assume that the market has stopped. And as we've been saying on these shows over and over and over again, that's simply not the case. So we talked about a little bit about staying in touch with the Sphere in social media. Talk to me more about social media and how often and what should be posted to social media.
So with social media, you should honestly be posting probably on your general Facebook, Instagram. YouTube is a little bit different, but with Facebook and Instagram, I would say at least 1 to 3 posts a week. If you can get all 5 posts, 5 posts in, then sure. Just make sure that the content you're posting is good content. You don't want to come off as if you're just kind of posting random things throughout the week just to kind of fill up the space. People don't want filler content. They want good content. In terms of that, again, it still goes back to that. At least 50% of your content should be videos. That's the goal. If you can't get there, do 1 to start with a week and really post that up there. The 4 big ones right now are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those are going to be super popular. YouTube, just try to get 1 video up a week. People are going to love it. People are going to watch them, especially if you're posting those YouTube videos then on Facebook and Instagram, and you're connecting these things. And then from there, you should also be taking that time not only to build up your social media, but then going to other people's social media and commenting. Make sure you're commenting on people's posts, liking other people's posts, and not commenting on their posts. Oh, hey, come look at this house I'm selling. It's, hey, wow, that's, your kids are so cute. My kids are just like this, or, et cetera. Really interacting with other people. You should be hopefully doing about 10 interactions a day, if you can. If not, then I would say at least trying to get 10 to 20 comments a week to show that you're interacting with the local community.
Good, I like it. So comment, don't just like. Somebody wrote in a second ago, I did a postcard to my sphere of influence folks about how we are able to continue to work and what precautions we are taking to include showings, listings, closings, etc. I love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of mail that people are getting is less than it used to be, right? There's a lot of companies that have stopped mailing. So the chances of your mail being read or looked at are even higher than it was previously. So give me a project, a unique one that I could work on now.
So besides the bingo card idea that we spoke about last time, you could also touch on, we were just talking about this, it's the Supper Club idea.
Yeah.
And I believe we have it pulled up so you guys can kind of take a look at it. Essentially what the Supper Club idea is you're creating a week to 2 week calendar of different restaurants. And so as a real estate agent, you're reaching out to these restaurants, asking if they can, be put onto this. And what it's doing is you're encouraging people into this Facebook group that you could create, or if you want to send it out via email, you can do that. But I like the idea that they use where it's in a Facebook group, because then you have all these people in one location, hopping on every day to check this and see, oh, what restaurant are people all eating at today? And it really helps these local businesses keep in touch, and then keep alive, because a lot of them have had to close because of everything. So, being able to help them, and then you're branding it, you can throw your name up there at the top, you're throwing your logo up there at the top, so that every single person that's seeing this is just like, okay, like, obviously Chris Krauss knows what he's talking about. He's, as we talked about, this is hyper local. And you can even ask your, your sphere of influence or your family members, hey, what restaurant do you want to put on this?
Right.
What restaurant would you like to see? And then you can reach out to that restaurant, ask you to put it on there. And then some restaurants will even make deals and say like, hey, like, we'll do this, like put us on there and we'd love it. We'll create a special meal that they can order only on this day for a special price. It's a great way to build that locality.
Yeah, I mean, again, being the digital mayor of your town, this is another way to do it. I learned about this in the local paper at the Palm Beach Post on Friday, and it started down in Delray Beach. Some of you are familiar with South Florida, Delray Beach. That group has 9,000 members in it now. And Palm Beach County is rather large, so now there's different towns that have been getting it. The group that you all are looking at now, the West Palm Beach group, they've grown by 400 members since when I discovered this on Friday morning, and this is just word of mouth, right? So this is not a realtor that is sponsoring this. I think this is just a group of people, but it occurred to me when I read about this on Friday, this is a great opportunity for realtors to sponsor this stuff, be in touch with with the businesses. And when things get quote unquote back to normal, you can go and do videos at these businesses. You can interview these business owners, right? I've got a client in Northern Virginia who is doing out in the Shenandoah Valley, who did bingo, and she actually got gift cards from each restaurant. So she's giving away gift cards. She's spending thousands of dollars advertising this restaurant bingo that we talked about last time, because she's sending it out to thousands. Somebody's asking, how would I get this out to my farm? Mailing is expensive. Every door direct mail is fairly inexpensive. And if there's folks on here that have not looked into that, Googling EDDM, just Google EDDM, it'll take you to the post office page. You can put in your zip code and see if the postal carrier routes match up to your farm. Otherwise, you can use Google advertising, Facebook advertising, et cetera, to get this out there. But I have clients that are using this as a farming piece, a geo-farming piece through the post office as a way to keep in touch with their people, right? They don't want to necessarily talk about the market right now, but as Chris, as you were talking about earlier, just letting people know that you're still in business, a bingo card or a Facebook group like this is not a bad thing to mail. So we're almost out of time. If folks have additional questions or would like to order a marketing piece from you, what's the best way to get in contact?
So there's a couple different ways. You can always reach out to us at marketing@rmxtalk.com. or you can hop on our website, allegiancemarketing.wordpress.com. Then you can actually see all the different options that we have available. And then as of hopefully Wednesday, we'll have this newsletter idea up. So keep an eye out on, on the page, and, we'll definitely release something so you guys will know that it's all ready. And then, we'll start taking submissions, and we're hoping to get this pushed out so that the first one goes out at the beginning of May. And then it'll just keep continuing from there.
Awesome. So electronic newsletter coming. We're actually going to have a social media automatic posting service coming. That's coming next month. We've signed the contract. We're just waiting for them to get it set up. So check that out tomorrow on the Allegiance Way show. It's going to be Coach Amy Lassen and I, and we are going to be discussing doing virtual home buyer seminars. We know some folks that have had really good luck with this. So look for that tomorrow. And with that, Chris, always good to see you. Have a great rest of the afternoon. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.